Well, hello everyone. It's Sibyl Star, and I am here to give the astrology forecast for the coming week of December 11th to the 17th. I call this MoonDay morning astrology because this comes out on Monday mornings. All right. Although in the new year, I'm going to be changing things up, and I'll let you know how my plan is actually going to unfold. But I think I'm going to start doing this twice a month on the first and the third Monday, and do a forecast for 2 weeks at a time because I have some other projects that I want to do. All right, so to begin with, the sun is in Sagittarius this week, and let's see, let's see, what degrees is it traveling? Is it going to be from, let's see here, okay, from, looks like, okay, 19 degrees to 25 degrees, okay, this week. And of course, as we've talked about, Sagittarius is very much an experiential energy. And Sagittarius needs new experiences to grow because it is really about the expansion of consciousness and all the different ways that we do that, whether that's through travel, whether that's through adventure, whether it's through inner journeys, theology, philosophy, all these different ways of expanding our consciousness and our understanding of the world. Sagittarius is visionary and it is seeking a new vision. It brings in a very optimistic and uplifting energy and allows us to see the bigger picture. All right. And of course, the shadow is fundamentalism, is in the Sagittarian quest for truth and for God and for that expansion of consciousness. We may believe that our truth is the truth for everyone. But one of Sagittarius's big teachings is to learn tolerance for other people's way of perceiving the world and remembering that each one of us came in as a face of creator, and each one of us have be incarnated to have a different perspective to grow the greater reality. Okay. All right. So anyway, we're gonna have the Sagittarius New Moon, which is happening tomorrow. So here is the chart for the Sagittarius New Moon. So it occurs on December 12th at 3:32 p.m. That's Pacific time, and it is at 20 degrees, 41 minutes. 40 minutes. We've got the sun and the moon here at 20 degrees, 40 minutes of Sagittarius. And some of the aspects that it makes is that it is in a square to Neptune, and it's what's called an inconjunct to Uranus here at 19 degrees. Uranus is at 19 degrees, 55 minutes, very tightly in conjunct the new moon, and back to Neptune. Neptune's at 24 degrees of Pisces, which is in a square to this new moon. We also have Mercury stationary, getting ready to go retrograde, and a trine to Jupiter, which is quite lovely. Okay, all right. See, is there anything else I want to talk about? Oh, well, and Jupiter is still also opposite Venus. So, and Jupiter is the ruler of this Sagittarius new moon. All right. So, what do we want to say about all of this? Okay. So, all right. So, the one thing I wanted to start with is that this new moon is tightly conjunct a fixed star called Ras Al Hag, which is in the constellation of Ophiuchus, which, for some of you who are familiar with the 13 sign astrology, Ophiuchus is the 13th sign. And what Ophiuchus represents, it is the Greeks. It's a man with a snake. Actually, they say the snake is behind him, but he's holding the snake, and it represents Asclepius, who is a healer. He's a divine healer. He's what they call, he was a demigod. He was half god, half human. And he was taught by Chiron, who was taught by Apollo, the ways of healing. And so, Asclepius had dream healing temples. They were pretty prevalent throughout the Mediterranean. And what would happen is people would go to these temples to have a healing dream, but it was a whole process. They it was like a pilgrimage. They went through a purification process, and then they would be in what is called an incubation temple, and they would ask for a healing dream. And my believe I read they were there for 3 nights. They would go 3 nights, and in those 3 nights, they would ask for a healing dream, and they would know it was a healing dream if one of the priests had either the same image or the same dream. And it could be anything like, a health issue, where you could be told how to treat it, what to do with it, or saying that, well, you've offended this god or that god, or anything you wanted guidance on in this dream healing temple. Okay. So, anyway, this is also, so this would be a really good time to, if you want to, create an incubation temple in your bedroom and ask for a healing dream. It's going to be very possible for this to be. So anyway, as I said, is all this new moon is also square Neptune, and Neptune is also associated with dreams in the dream world. So I feel like it's very much about healing dreams and paying very close attention to your dreams this time. And, the indigenous elders say that we are dreaming the world into being, and that we need a new dream. And so maybe it's time to have a healing dream, not only about our personal lives, but about our world. We need a new vision for our world. Neptune, in aspect to any planet, and especially the sun, says that we need a new vision of who we are. Okay. And of course, I feel like the light coming in is going to illuminate any of our illusions. And I would say the biggest illusion that I feel like is we're being asked to look at is that we are separate from source. I mean, this is part of the 3D reality, but as we are shifting into these higher frequency dimensions, part of that is a remembering. Um, Neptune represents the divine heart, the unconditional love of the universe, and that we have forgotten who we truly are. And it is about awakening from the current dream of the world and remembering our own divinity. Okay. It is a time to trust our inner guidance, but we need to be able to slow down so we can listen, because the guidance will not come through our minds. It will come through our hearts and through our intuition. And of course, whenever Neptune is around, the challenge is always being able to differentiate what is real from what is not, as the imagination is greatly activated. And of course, imagination is a wonderful thing. I mean, it is part of the creative process. Um, but we can also get lost in the land of fairy and believing what we want to believe, even if it is not true. Okay. Now, this new moon is also in alignment with the galactic center. I did a whole video on that if you want to go more deeply into that, of what the galactic center, the sun is actually going to be conjunct the galactic center on next week on December 19th in direct alignment. But we give it a very wide orb because it's really probably the most powerful place in our whole Milky Way galaxy. And so, the our astrophysicists say that the galactic center is a black hole. Um, and I think I've shared before what I've come to understand a black hole is. It's a dying star, and in that dying star, all of the matter is concentrated into one point, which becomes very heavy, and it is able to rupture through to other universes, other galaxies. There's a veil that separates us. I once saw an image and it was like different bubbles, and each one of these bubbles was a different galaxy that functioned on a different set of physics and a different purpose. Okay. But anyway, so this is an intergalactic point because the Arcturians say that this is actually a portal to the great central sun, and it is in direct alignment with the great central sun, which is the source of all creation. And so during this time, we've got many, this in December, we've got the sun, Mercury, and Mars all in alignment with the great central sun, with the galactic center. So I feel like there's an opportunity for light to pour in, activating our light codes. It indicates a cosmic consciousness that can bring new solutions to old problems, and it's a channel of divine inspiration. All right. Now, as I said, this new moon is also in conjunct Uranus, and an in conjunct is 150 degrees. So it's not one of the major aspects. It's a minor aspect, but it's still very significant because it requires an adjustment. Okay, it's two different. Like the signs here are Sagittarius and a Taurus, and they are signs that just don't have a lot in common, but they have to work together. Okay. So I feel like what this is saying, and of course, Uranus is about awakening, but it's also about change. It's lightning, it shakes everything up. And so I feel like what this is saying is that if the light is not anchored, it can create chaos. Uranus is all about chaos, but Taurus is about being anchored and steady and calm. And so, as this light is coming through, uh, it will create chaos in the world because our um, systems are not aligned with this light. Okay, so it is breaking them up, but we must ground ourselves within our center, within our own reality. Chaos comes about when we can have a state of reorganization when things start breaking up. Okay. So I feel like what this is saying is one way to manage this energy is to be calm and connected to our center, because it allows for a better utilization of the energy coming in. Being in nature, hugging trees, put your feet on Mother Earth. When we are connected to that calm, still place within ourselves, which is the most important thing. Even places that are very busy, or it's not really the word I want to use. They're very busy, but very populated, where people have a hard time getting to nature. Like, let's say Japan, they've learned how to go within, how to center themselves, and how to meditate, even in the midst of people. So it's about inner focus. Okay. And it's important to remember that we are the awareness behind our thoughts. We are not our thoughts. We are not our mind. When we can turn off our mind and go to that stillness within, is when we can really hear the messages and the downloads of spirit. Because Uranus, of course, is aligned with the divine mind and downloads and transmissions. So as we go through these challenging times, but are also, they're both with the 3D reality is really disassembling. It's in chaos. It's breaking up while we are bringing in this higher frequency dimension. So it's so important to allow time to go to that stillness within to help us integrate the energies that are coming in, because when we are so busy, we will feel exhausted and fried if we don't take the time to connect to our soul, to that stillness within, because that is what nourishes us, regenerates us, and replenishes us. Okay. And because it is in the stillness within where we are connected to source. So anyway, so we have Mercury. Mercury goes retrograde on Mercury in Capricorn, goes retrograde at 8 degrees of Capricorn, depending on where you are, evening of December 12th or December 13th. And so first off, Mercury in Capricorn is an earth sign. It is very much methodical thinking, practical. It's like we might find ourselves focusing on the practical aspects of life. But it is easier to concentrate when Mercury is retrograde and in Capricorn. Okay. And we can use this energy to start making plans, solid, realistic plans, and to get organized, to get our lives organized. Mercury is trine Jupiter from December 11th to the 19th. And of course, Jupiter is all about gratitude and inspirational thoughts. It is about, I feel like it's about elevating your thoughts, knowing that you can elevate your thoughts. Your thoughts are not you. As I said, it is the awareness behind those thoughts. And you can make a choice to choose to elevate your thoughts. If you find yourself going down into some kind of a rabbit hole, it's just stop, say, stop this and listen to some beautiful, uplifting music, something that really expands your consciousness, okay? And to know that it's all about gratitude. The attitude of gratitude changes everything. And during this time of very sacred, holy days, to speak from the heart, to be sure to let people know that you love them, okay? And it's also about listening to the wisdom of your body. And as I said, Mercury goes retrograde. It's going to be retrograde from December 12th, 13 to January 1st. And of course, Mercury goes retrograde 3 times a year for 3 weeks at a time. And it's usually at a time when we've gotten ahead of ourselves. Once again, the message is slow down, okay? Think things through. I know we're all really busy with the holidays, but the universe is also saying slow down, go within, because your practical solutions to your problems will come when you have the time to listen, okay? And of course, Mercury retrograde times are always about redoing, rethinking, reevaluating, and editing. And Mercury retrograde enters Sagittarius on December 22nd, 23rd. And so we go from the practical aspect of Capricorn back to the vision. So, it may be that during Mercury retrograde and you're looking at the practicality of some of your plans, you might find that maybe they're not exactly right and that maybe your vision needs an adjustment, okay, to see a practical application. All right. We also have Venus in Scorpio, and Venus, in Scorpio is deeply passionate. She really brings up whatever it is we're passionate about, passion in relationships. And you might find yourself really, wanting human connection really strongly during this time. So, and if you're not in a relationship, you might be feeling sad that you're not, uh, because Venus in Scorpio really does like to have emotional intimacy. But you can have emotional intimacy with friends. You can have emotional intimacy. It doesn't have to be a partner, but to know that it's important to connect with others, but also to whatever your passion is, will be Venus also rules self-love. And so, whatever your passion is, and creativity and art, to make sure and allow yourself to experience whatever it is you're passionate about. And she's also opposite Jupiter for the new moon. And so, they're the two great benefics. And once again, this is all aspecting Mercury. So I think one of the most important things to do is to let people know that you love them. Okay. All right. All right, so what is the moon doing this week? Okay, well, first off, the moon is from Monday through mid-Wednesday. The moon is in Sagittarius. We know we've got, the new moon in Sagittarius. And of course, this is where she's at her most optimistic and upbeat. Once again, it's a very visionary energy and really is asking for new experiences. And I would say in this solar cycle, to try some new experiences, right? To kind of push yourself. All right, mid-Wednesday through Thursday, the moon is in Capricorn. And that, of course, is a much, well, actually, it must be Wednesday and Thursday, not mid-Wednesday. Let's say Wednesday and Thursday. The moon is Capricorn is much more practical. Um, uh, but one of the most and very resourceful, and Capricorn doesn't like to waste energy. It's kind of like, you can get a lot done with the moon in Capricorn. Okay, but it can also be a very sobering influence, and you might find yourself being a bit lonely. Okay, Moon in Capricorn can bring about loneliness, but the other side of that is just simply being able to be alone and to be in solitude and to really connect with your deeper self. Pluto is conjunct Pluto during this time, and this really acts for a big level of emotional maturity, uh, and especially our emotions, knowing, understanding that the whatever it is we're feeling lives inside of us. Someone else may trigger that, but they're triggering something, an unhealed part of ourselves that wants to come to the surface to be looked at, healed, and integrated. Okay. And then for the weekend, Friday, actually mid Friday through Sunday, we have Aquarius, which is a much more upbeat energy. It might be a really good time to socialize, especially with some of your more unique and offbeat friends. You might have some wonderful conversations about the future. Aquarius is the sign of the rebellion, so it can also bring up some authority issues. All right. Well, wishing everyone, this is what I see for the week, and wishing everyone a wonderful week, this wonderful upcoming week. Many blessings. And I do, if you're interested in a reading, I'm still offering discounts, a 15% discount through December and February. I'll put the information in the description box. All right. Wishing everyone a wonderful week, many blessings, and namaste. Okay. Oh, yes. And if you like this video, please check like and subscribe.